back in the room.
Back in the room again.
Right. Again, back in the room. All right. Right. Well, let's go to a place where the distractions are landmarks and the detours are the main roads. Welcome to ADHDville.
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Talking about phones and stuff. Okay.
That's you.
It's me. Hello, I'm Paul Thompson with a P. Not the Paul. Obviously, that's got a P. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Paul. It would be all. No, the Thompson's got a P. Thompson. And I was diagnosed with a combined ADHD and another D again, crawling towards a bunch of years ago.
Hello, Martin Weston. I was diagnosed with the combined poo-poo platter in 2013. And we start off as we have been at the King's Agitated Head pub in ADHDville, where we, the ex-co-mayors of ADHD, sit at the back and enjoy a drink or two. And we're glad that you're here to join us.
Yes.
Aren't we, Mr. T?
Cradling like a communal pint.
Mm-hmm. I've got that thing, like where you're kind of hot, and you're a little bit sweaty, and your glasses start to
steam
mist
up.
over.
Yeah.
That's what
Martin's just come straight. He's come straight from the his lawn mowing tasks.
Yep. I have mowed the lawn this morning. All right, so we are going to talk about phones. But before we do that, we have an announcement. A new member has joined the ADHD Council.
Okay.
So this week we are excited for Seth, my friend Seth, who is a psychologist. He's been on the pod, I think, back in episode 30 something, and he's got like a PhD in psychology and stuff, and he listens to every single episode.
Good man. Good man. Well done, Seth.
So he is now minister of head stuff. So,
okay.
So congratulations to you, Seth.
Yeah, we need it. We have needed someone like that.
We have needed, and he's been there consistently. So
all the time.
So that's right.
Okay.
All right. So let's crack on and talk about phones. Where are we going, Paulio?
We are going, Mr. West. We're going to the park bench.
Oh, that seems
good
like
place as any
place
to talk about phones.
Fine. Well, let's jump in the tractor and get going.
Okay.
Move up.
Perch yourselves. Yeah. Room for everyone.
Ooh, off we go. That sounds lovely. All right. Well, phones. Okay. So what I thought we would do is that we would talk about like phone calls generally, from an ADHD point of view, and then we'll kind of go back and we'll kind of go through the history of phones and all the phones that we've had, because I thought that would be kind of quite good fun. So let's start with phone calls, which I don't know about you, Paul. Nightmare. Mostly
in general.
Nightmare. Like,
yes.
I mean, so for me, what?
Yeah, we kind of established that even though Martin and I have been mates for getting on for like 30
more than that,
39 years.
Yep.
Something like that. Okay. We kind of realised, and we worked together. We went to college, art college together, mates, and we even worked together for a few years. Turns out we got the same phobia of making phone calls and answering the telephone in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
There I
like
was
it.
sitting there all those years thinking I'm the only one, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like these like ridiculous conversations, like bad conversations with myself. Oh, Paul, what the hell? Why are you afraid of the freaking phone? There was Martin next to me. I didn't realize had the same kind of fears.
It is quite funny when you think about it, right? Because I would have obviously looked at you and you would have said, "Oh, I'm just going to give so and so a call," and you get your
Yeah,
phone and you'd make the call. I think,
yeah,
look at him go! Look at him go! He just picks up my phone and
yeah,
phones someone.
exactly.
How does he
Yeah.
do it?
Look at him. How
I
did he
know.
do that?
And
Or if we'd been like diagnosed like 40 years ago with ADHD, I would have said to Martin, mate, I need to make this call to a printer. Can you be like my body double for the next 4 minutes, please?
I know I've been like, okay, so it's
And
it's gonna be fine.
you'd have
Don't
stood
worry.
over me.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
then I would have asked the same of you, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
I've got to phone that horrible woman next door.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I could say if how does it feel if I've got to make a phone call? Not sure how it is for you, Marty, but if I've got to make a phone call, I do feel it in my stomach. It's not like a big stone in my stomach. It's like a little piece of gravel in my stomach. It's like, oh God, I've got to make a call, and I prepare myself mentally for it.
oh, it's that preparation, right? Where if you're making the phone call, you almost have to like rehearse the phone call in your head
Yeah,
and like
mm,
just kind of play act it out in your mind before you
yeah,
actually make that call. Especially I
yeah,
find if it's to like a professional outfit, like if you're phoning like a doctor's office or a you know anywhere like that
yeah.
where
Or your accountant. Your
oh
accountant,
god, I just
the worst.
email him. I don't.
But
I've
if you have to call your
oh
accountant,
yeah,
talk us
which
through
does
that,
happen
Martin.
occasionally.
Yeah.
I know. So that is that. And the other thing is that as you're talking, you get no visual cues in the conversation. So like
Right.
you can't see their eyes, you can't see the facial
Ooh.
expressions. It's all so you have to like
Oh.
really concentrate. Like almost all of your
Mm.
brain cells are like focused on this
Yeah.
one simple
But
phone call. It's
maybe you've opened
exhausting.
a can of worms there, Martin,
Oh,
because
blimey.
if you take it for granted ish, okay, there are no in ADHD world, there are no absolutes. Okay. But generally we kind of tend to be hyper vigilant, right? If you're on the
Right?
phone to someone, you can't see the signs. So if
No.
okay, we're hyper vigilant, therefore we're quite sensitive and we're good at reading a room. So guess what? On the phone, we can't read the room.
Right. Well, it's
So you
very
don't
hard
know
to
what
work.
they're thinking. You can't read their body language.
No.
You know,
No. No. It's tricky.
God, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? There's something in that,
There
just
is.
thinking about it.
I know. And then the
Yeah.
other thing I find hard about the whole phone calls is that I think I've got used to if you're online and you're texting or you're commenting on stuff, someone will say something and then you can like sit there and think about it and process it for a while and then you can text
Yes.
back, right? Whereas on a
Yeah.
phone call, it's like, no, I want that out. I'll ask you a question. I want an answer right now. Now, come on, now. Can't
Like
think about it.
slapping.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So my poor brain is like doing a
Mm.
lot of work in
Yeah.
in that one phone call.
Yeah. Or what if you're on the phone with someone who likes to
Yes.
have long conversations on the phone
Oh,
and they're
blimey.
not going to be easily like swayed by you saying, "Oh, so anyway," and you like you and
Must
you like
go.
you try all your little tricks of the trade to kind of cut the conversation off, and they're just going for it.
Right.
Like with my
Oh,
friend Sergio in Palermo, he called me once and he said,
yeah.
Paul, he had just had a prostate operation, and he
All
said,
right.
"Paul, I don't want to bore you with the details of my prostate operation,
Mm-hmm.
right?" And I
Yeah.
said, no, yeah, no, don't worry about that. It's fine." He went on for about an hour,
Oh,
bless
yeah.
him, about his
Good Lord.
prostate operation
Lovely.
and all the shenanigans after
All the
post-op.
gory details. I
He
know.
went through it all.
I
But for
think.
him, it's easy. For him, it's normal. For me, it was what's the right word? It was excruciating. No, it's a bit strong. It was
Right.
uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable.
You know what? You know it's a really bad phone call for that when you find yourself
Mm.
and you realise that you're just lying on the floor, like you've like all the energy's drained out of you,
Yeah,
and you're literally just lying
right.
on the floor with your phone.
Oh, do you
God.
know what I do though? I pace the room.
Oh yeah, that's helpful. Very
I
helpful.
pace. I pace.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or I had another friend, another Palermo friend, female. She said she was a bit offended because she said, "Oh, it would be nice if you called me at least once a week and asked me how I was doing."
All right. But
Oh,
were
you
you were
clearly
you
don't
actually
know
going
me.
out with her
She,
at the
well,
time?
no, yes and no.
Okay, dating
Well,
casually.
we met through with the idea of dating. Then we worked out that it wasn't going to happen. It's like, oh, let's just stay friends. Then clearly she wanted to be way much more than friends, even though we'd agreed we were just friends.
All right. Okay. Oh,
So,
all
God,
right.
that was difficult.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
hard. You know what?
Oh,
The, that's
turns out,
that's 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 a
strangely,
little bit of pool life coming to the
yeah,
surface.
there it was. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. It's actually a much longer story, but we haven't got time.
Right.
Yeah, some phones.
When it comes to those long conversations and those people that you know,
Mm,
it's just I
yeah.
just do back in the day, which would be I'd I would answer the phone and it'd be them, and I'd say, "Oh,
Mm.
cool, I've got 10 minutes because I'm going out to the shops or whatever, right?" So it would be like,
Yes, that's
so
good.
I I
That's good tactics.
I gave them a window, and then at some point I could go, right, well, I have to go,
Right.
sorry, and that was my escape out. I remember
Yeah.
that being a thing.
Yeah.
I must bring
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
uh,
You mentioned.
what did I
You
mention?
mentioned because this is actually like this is the second time we've recorded this episode because we had technical problems. In the last one that didn't turns out it wasn't registered, wasn't recorded. Martin, you
Yep.
talked about a phenomenon in the 70s when you used to get like dirty callers
Yes, I did.
and you had an aunt.
I
Tell us
was.
that story, Martin, about your
Oh,
aunt.
blimey, my aunt. So yeah, my auntie Het, bless her little soul. She was only about like 4 foot nothing. She was like a little tiny little woman. She was fantastic. And yeah, so back in the 70s, she said, I had a phone call the other day, and we're all there, and we're kind of going, what? She said, oh yeah, some guy said that he wanted me to strip, and
Mm.
we thought, oh my god, that is terrible. And she thought he meant stripping wallpaper. She thought, oh,
Right.
why is he asking me about whether I strip
Well,
wallpaper or not? And she said, oh well, yeah, I do, but I only do it
mm,
at home. I don't do it for other people. And then
mm.
she hung up, and I think it was my mum that went, oh yeah, I think that was a dirty phone call. I don't
Yeah.
think he was asking about
Oh.
your wall.
It wouldn't be the strangest sexual fetish that I've heard of. Wallpaper stripping. Someone's,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've,
not in the
I think
70s.
it was a
Fetish.
strange
70s
time.
weren't big. 70s wasn't a big. It wasn't. Fetish was like from the 90s onwards, wasn't it? Surely,
I
80s
guess.
onwards.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, right. I was actually thinking about this because I think as soon as a phone was invented, men just seemed to have jumped on it as a way to be
Yeah,
dirty,
that's
disgusting people.
desperate.
I mean,
Desperate,
so
isn't it? God, that's desperate.
right.
God.
So back in the
Yeah,
70s, it was people making dirty phone calls, and now it's like
yeah,
sending dick pics, right? I mean that's the kind of that's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
modern day version of it.
There used to be situations where men would just breathe heavily down the phone.
Oh yeah, heavy breathing.
Heavy breathers. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah. And that's all they would do, which is
I
even
know.
scarier.
It's weird people.
That's weird. Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Okay.
Anyway,
I
so
was
back.
listening, talking about this
Yes.
kind of thing. I was watching a documentary with, it's an interview with Francis Bacon, the famous painter
Painter.
of pork products. No, that was just happened to be his surname. The painter, yeah. And halfway through the interview, the interview was at his home. And halfway through the interview, his home telephone went, and it went dring dring, and all of a sudden I had this pang of nostalgia, right?
What
And
for that old
that's
ringtone, that old
that
rotary
thing, that
phone.
sound, when
Yeah,
your home life was disturbed by this bring bring. And
yeah.
everyone's phone sounded the same. No one had to. You couldn't choose your ringtone.
No, you
Everyone's
had the
phone sounded
same
the
ringtone.
same, right? And he said he was very rich even then. Even whilst he was alive, he was very rich. He had an assistant. And he just like shouted, sort of, "Oh, tell them I'm busy." But it occurred to me that one of the benefits with ADHD now is at least now you can filter your calls. You couldn't then. If your
No.
phone rang, you had to answer it, and you didn't know who it was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
At least now you could
Exactly.
see, oh, it's an unknown caller, or it's just someone you don't want to talk to again.
Mm-hmm.
Like your accountant. Yeah,
My accountant. My accountant has done me a good job this year or last year. So
right.
so
So you
he
found a
is in
good
my
accountant.
good books. He's saved me rather a lot of money.
I've got
Which
to
is
change. We've had lots of conversations about this. I've got to change my accountant at the end of the year. He's just not cutting the mustard.
not cutting the mustard. Well, you
I
can't have
might
mine.
even have to go back to the one I had before, Martin.
Oh, at least what? So
Yeah.
at least I'm guessing he was competent.
No, she was competent, but she also was much more patient with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's,
she's a lot more
that's
patient, but she was a long way away. She was like a 4-hour drive away. Turns out I don't need to see her anyway, actually
what I was gonna
physically.
say.
So
Jesus,
I'm going to go back to her, I think.
yeah,
She was
just
great.
yeah. They usually have a portal, and you just like send over all your
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Oh, totally,
Nice.
yeah. Anyhow,
One
so
one thing that really bugs me about phone calls is the ending part. Like when you kind of go when
yeah,
you're hanging up and you do that kind
yeah,
of that little dance at the end where you kind of like, all right,
yes,
well, okay, all right, well, thanks a lot,
yeah.
but all right, bye. It's like I hate that.
Especially if you're lovers and you just started dating. Say, no, you put the phone down. No, you put it down. No, you put the phone down. No, come on, you put the phone down. Come on. Let's put it down at the same time. Oh, are you still there? Oh no, that didn't work.
I'm still there.
Oh no.
I'm just wondering whether I've
Yeah.
actually ever done that, and I don't think I ever have. I don't think that's ever been a thing. I know that I've seen it on TV.
Yeah. Yes, but it's the same for me. It's like small talk. You know, if you're like, I'm not good at getting out of calls unless you say, look, like you were saying before, if you got the tactic, you know, say, look, I've got to be out of the house in like 2 minutes. So,
Right.
you know, maybe we could talk another time. Not.
Yeah, just make it quick. Just give me the bullet points of this call. Thank you. That would be nice.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny because when actually I think have I actually finished that? I'm just looking down my thing. No, I think I've pretty much covered all my things I want to talk about phone calls. But so I wanted to kind of go on to like the phones that we've had in history.
Yes.
And we started off like you with a rotary, with an old rotary olive green British Telecom phone.
Yeah. There were generally like 3 colours, maybe 4. We had the olive green, but you could get like a creamy coloured.
Yes.
If you wanted to.
Yes.
I think brown. You know, your grandparents would have a brown because your grandparents in those days had everything was brown.
Who would buy a brown phone? That's horrible.
Yeah,
I know. And the thing about those old phones was, and we were talking about this, is that you had to dial the number with your finger in this rotary, dial it all the way around, and and that was, and I was saying the other day that when I had my own company back in the late 90s, I think it was, I decided stupidly, it turned out that I would be really cool because I was a cool graphic design company, that I would have the old rotary phone as the company phone. No, there was just me and Steve. But I quickly learnt how boring it is to dial on a rotary phone after I got used to having I think I had a flip phone at that point. But so it was just like, oh my God, it takes like half an hour just to ring a number. It just drove me insane. And I threw it out in the end. It was like, you can't go backwards. It's so hard to go backwards in the phone world.
It always seemed strange to me that if you wanted to call an emergency, you had to dial 999 if you're in the UK, and it seemed bizarre. But now I'm just talking about that, mentioning that. Now I think I know why. Because if you had to dial 999, it's much less likely you would dial it by mistake. I think that's why.
I think you could be right. I think it was the most but it is the longest number it would take to actually get through to anyone. So if you're dying there on the floor, you have to type 9. It was like I had to dial 9. It was all the way around,
endless,
all the way back. I'm dying.
Yeah,
never have while your blood's spurting out everywhere. And you're having a heart attack or whatever. It's like Jesus Christ, who ever thought of this? Whereas in the States, it's 9911. So at least you only have to do one.
It's what in the States? 911.
911.
Right, but susceptible to mistakes, isn't it? You're more open to mistakes, dialing it by mistake. Yeah. Right. Okay. Just saying.
Also, the
sorry, Rudy's humping his bed at the moment.
I know. Well, I can see that he's getting very.
He's throwing it around,
playful with his bed. Back back there.
Bit of dignity, please, Rudy. Bit of dignity. Okay, thank you.
Anyway, so
We've got a
Paul's
live, we've got a
giving
live
his
audience.
his dog a little a little chat.
Yeah.
Just took him to one side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at him. Oh
I
God.
know. So yeah, if you're on a YouTube,
On YouTube.
there is a show
There's a show going on.
with
Yeah.
with
I think he's
Paul's
about to.
doggy.
It's almost finished. He's about to light a cigarette, I think. Anyway, so yeah,
sex
so
lines.
then,
Do you? It just brought up because your dog's humping his bed. It just reminded me of like sex lines
sex
back
lines.
in the day.
Yeah,
there was
the
adverts
dial-up things.
in magazines and in
It
papers
was
and
massive,
stuff.
wasn't it?
Yeah, you phone up. Yeah.
And to do what though? I can't remember because I never did it. Honestly, Gov.
I have definitely phoned a couple of times.
Sex chat thing.
Yeah, it was basically there was a woman on the other end of the phone, and you would, and then what would happen is that they would keep you on the phone as long as possible because it was like, I don't know, 10 pence a second or something. So it was like some pretty high charge. So they would just kind of like ramble and just kind of like not
and keep you on
do
the line
much for a while. And then you go, Jesus, I'm spending like so much money, and then you just go, what am I doing? You just hang up. At least that was my experience. Was like, oh my God, I'm just burning money, for no reason.
Yeah. But around that time there were a lot of advertising as well, like on Channel 4 for those sex lines. They were like everywhere. With like they had really, really weird jingles.
Oh,
on their advertising.
The TV ads, yeah. Sexy women waiting for you.
Exactly, something like that.
Maybe
that's a good rendition, actually, Martin. You got.
I used to work as one. In fact, hang on. Did I used to know someone who worked as one?
Oh, no.
I think I did. I think I used to know someone who worked at one for a while, and I think, yeah, she had a very sexy voice. I remember that, and she phoned up Radio 1 once. You know, like a sort of a Radio 1, BBC Radio 1. It was like it was the Chris Evans show. If you remember him, he was like a big DJ back in the late 90s, and she phoned up for some reason, and she has a very sexy voice, and Chris Evans kept having her back on like every day for like for a week or so. She would have to phone up because she just had that kind of like that voice, that a good phone voice. I don't have a good phone voice. I have a terrible phone voice. I'm gonna.
Does anyone like the sound of their own voice? Well, I suppose some people do.
Some people definitely do. It is. I don't, clearly. Back to rotary phones. And we were talking about the American 911 and whatever.
Yeah.
You were saying this the other day that that the length of cord that the Americans had between the handset and the actual wall phone was immense. And you would see them like walking around half the house with this long cord.
Yeah, exactly. No one ever did that in the UK. And you'd think, short. You just buy, I don't know, 8 meters of telephone cable and you could walk around the house. No.
Well,
We
yeah,
had
because
like max we had was about 1.5 meters.
right, it was short, which meant that as the phone was always in the middle, in the hallway, everyone could go on your
Yeah,
phone to your friends or whatever. It was like everyone could hear
yeah.
you. There was no
And you
privacy,
had a little
nothing.
table. You had a little
Oh yeah,
table.
I had a little special table with a little
Yeah.
notepad by it
Yes.
for notes.
Yes.
Clearly,
That's
very
right.
important.
Or if you were posh, you had a little Rolodex. Well, not a
Yeah.
Rolodex, like the precursor to the Rolodex had little buttons on it, and you could like you press T or W, and you ring up Martin West.
All right.
We had something. We had something like that. But my parents had a really bad taste in furniture. Everything was like fake antique.
All right.
Like
Nice.
yeah, still does actually, still do. Like reproduction antiques. God,
All right.
yeah. I can still picture the little table that parents had for our phone.
Mm-hmm. Out in the
Yeah.
hallway.
Anyway,
Um.
but yeah, but we didn't that whole. I remember watching programs, American programs. They're like, oh my god, look how long their telephone cables are. They're
Right.
wandering around the house having
Yeah.
calls, making
And
calls.
then, all right. So, rotary phones eventually went away, and then there was the cordless phone, which was like
Yeah.
had a little antenna on it and had like very futuristic like push buttons so you didn't dial anymore. It was like buttons.
Yes.
Boop beep boop beep 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 beep
Yeah.
boop boop.
And they
Oh,
and they were
the
big.
future. They were big. They were
They were
big
big.
buggers. Right. Because I was watching Friends early episode. I think it's like season 2 or something of Friends the other day, and they had a cordless phone. I was like, oh look, it's like one of those
Mhm.
cordless phones with the antenna, and then he just like the character just threw the phone on the couch. I was like, oh yeah, I would lose the
Yeah.
phone. It would ring, and they'll be
Yes.
like, where the hell's the phone? Or want to make a call, where's the
Yeah.
phone? Just lifting up sofa cushions and like, where the hell is this goddamn
I
thing?
I don't remember our house ever having a cordless home phone. I can't picture it in my mind. I'm sure we did.
Into
There must have been an evolution, basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, there was, but we
There
evolved
must have
into
been.
into the flip phones or the cell
Yeah.
phones.
Well, not quite, because my dad had one of the first mobile phones. It was a Motorola, and it came
Oh,
with its own briefcase because the battery was so big.
oh,
Because
you had
he
one
had
of
like
those.
a a big high flying job with a chauffeur, and he had like this
Ooh,
massive case that he used to carry
wow!
around. He had like one of the first ever mobile phones.
I remember. Wow,
It
I
was
do.
huge.
I do remember them. Like, I think they were they like mid 80s. Um, but I definitely
Yeah,
remember a guy that came to work to repair the photocopier, and this photocopier was huge. It was like a monster. It was like the size of a room. Um, and he pulled out this huge sort of brick phone, I think it was called. It's just
yeah.
like with this on this suitcase. It was like, oh my, special people with their big special phones. It was like that, wasn't it? It was like, oh my
Yeah,
god, you're
yeah,
special.
yeah.
Can I touch your phone?
Well,
Oh
because
no,
that was
it's
the
just
precursor to like it was very much in London a status symbol at that time.
mm-hmm. It was. It
It
was.
was it was for yuppies. If you're like a high flyer, you had to have your mobile phone, and they were bricks basically
They
with
were.
an
They
with a
were
very
huge.
long end like aerial.
Right. And then we
Yeah,
had flip phone, the
yeah.
clamshell,
Well,
the
didn't flip phones an oyster clam or oyster? What are they called? Oyster phones.
yeah.
Clam, oyster. Yeah,
r-
yeah. And that they've come
Which
back
which
into
was
fashion again, haven't they? They've come like I really get, actually, the next phone I get, I like the idea of a clamshell, I have to admit. Clamshell phone.
Right.
I
I
think
know
it's really
that
smart.
there are people out there that went back to kind of like the kind of old style analog phone where you just basically just make
Yeah.
calls and text, and that's kind of it. You know, like
Yes.
it's a lot simpler.
Could you do that? Could you see yourself ever doing that?
Probably not. No,
I
no,
don't think I could either.
I could not. So I mean, when I first came to the States, that's what the phones were. They were basically these flip phones with an aerial that you pulled up, and everyone was
Hmm.
on them at that point. And I worked for I worked in I started up an ad agency office in New York, and we had T-Mobile, we had AT&T, and we had Sony Ericsson phones. So I was knee deep in the phone world back in those days. And where I came from in the UK, we were very used to texting. We would text quite a lot. But when
Yes.
I came to the States, I was told, I was saying this to you yesterday, I was told um, outright that Americans wouldn't text. We like to talk too much. We're not interested in
Yeah.
this text thing.
That's
We
strange, isn't
aren't
it?
texters. I know.
Yeah.
And you know, lo and behold, Americans are just as big a texters as everyone else.
Is that
It was
because the
just a
English
really
are
weird thing.
basically shyer? They're more timid than Americans. So for if you're shy, it's a better option. Americans are less shy than the English, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think so too. But even them, even the Americans succumbed to the joys of not talking to anyone. It's like, thank God for that. Your dog's having a right old good time
He's
behind you.
blimey.
He's like,
He's getting tired now, though. You finished, then, mate. You finished. All right. Do you want to
oh
drink some water?
dear.
Do you want to smoke a cigarette,
And
mate?
then, all right.
Right.
So after flip
Okay.
phones, smartphones, i.e.,
Yeah.
the iPhone gets launched. A
Yeah.
whole new world. A whole
Whole
new
new world.
world.
For better, for worse.
And
I
I
have very
what?
conflicting feelings about smartphones
Well, when they first came out, I will
generally.
say I was I was over the moon, mate. I
Yeah.
was tickled pink when it came out. I loved it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the reason that it had maps on it. I think it had Apple Maps at that point, but it would
Yeah.
pull up a
Well,
map of
those
where
were
I
the
was
days when
and say where I was
those were the
and how
days
to
when
get somewhere.
anything Apple in those were days when anything Apple was really cool, right? And if you had a phone, you just felt like you were cool too,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Now
you
it's
the
like, smartphone is like hundreds of different types. And actually, some would say they've been overtaken technologically by Samsung and what have you. But in those days, yeah, it was very new and very cool.
look. I used to get lost as an ADHD person. I used to get lost all the time. Right, I would take a wrong
Hmm.
turning going somewhere, and then I'm like, where the hell am I?
Yeah,
And then I'd have at some point I'd either ask someone or I'd
hmm,
find the map book from the back of the car. I'd try and work out where it was, and it was like
yeah,
and that was my
yeah,
world, and I hated it. And as soon as the iPhone came, you just have to turn left
yeah,
here and right here. I was like, oh, this is the end of getting lost
yeah,
ever again.
yes. Well, last about 18 months ago, I had a situation where I started a new job in a new profession in a new town and teaching, like 700 students at high school. And my best friend at that for the first 4 months was the Google Maps or Apple Maps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could get to that school and not have to think about how I was going to get there. It literally it really saved me from, it gave me 40 minutes in the car when I didn't have to think about taking a left or a right. And
Mm-hmm.
it made a big difference to my ADHD brain at that time, I have to
Also,
say.
you could get lost. You could go down a road that looked
Oh, yeah.
interesting, that you didn't know where it went, but it felt like it could be somewhere cool.
Yes.
And you could
Yeah.
go down that road and know that you could get back to where you
Yeah.
want to be. It allowed you to get lost, as it were, to kind of like
Yeah.
explore
Yeah.
and not think that
Yeah.
you might kind of
That's
die
true.
out in the countryside somewhere.
Yeah. No,
I like
totally.
that.
But having said that, I got lost once, even if I had Google Maps. I got lost in the middle of Sicily in the car and almost no petrol left.
Ooh.
Okay. And Google sent me completely the wrong way. And Google is not
Ooh.
infallible, it makes
No.
massive mistakes. It made me turn at a certain point. It wanted me to turn left down basically a tractor track,
All right.
and I literally my fuel was on 0, and I couldn't find a petrol station, and
Oh
I was
no.
going out of my mind.
Yes. And what happened?
So,
I'm
eventually
I'm invested.
I did manage to. Well, even if but in the meantime, I went down one road, and then I lost faith that I was going in the right direction. So I did a 3-point turn, and bashed
Mm-hmm.
my car into a wall in frustration. Yeah,
Oh dear.
actually, it was a rental car, so it wasn't. Yeah, and yeah, God, that was so stressful.
Oh blimey. I remember
That
like
was a nightmare.
saying that this is like another little quick car story. You know, multiple lanes of traffic and cars, and they're kind of like merging into like 2 lanes. So say they're like
Yeah.
3 or 4 lanes, and they're merging. So you have right. And
Hmm.
then there was at one point where there was me and this other car, and this other car wouldn't let me in, right? And we were just getting
Okay.
closer and closer and closer until we were about to hit each other, and eventually I rolled the. And I said, "This is a hire car." Another guy went,
Right.
"Oh, okay," and then he just backed off and
Okay. Right.
and let me in.
No.
Yeah, it's
I
funny.
had I had a similar situation in Napoli. Exactly the same. And we basically it came, it was 2 lanes that went down into one, and we were like side by side, and he just edged in front of me and then made a maneuver and stopped sideways in front of me, wound down his
Stop.
window,
He stopped
literally
sideways.
wound down the window because it was an old car, and for the
Wound down
next
his
2 minutes stared
right.
me out.
2 minutes, right? Just giving you the hard Paddington stare.
S- Exactly, he just stared me out. And like I understood from that he had a gun underneath his. In my imagination, he had a gun underneath his. He probably didn't, but in my
Oh,
imagination,
right.
because he was very menacing,
Okay.
and it seemed like after 2 hours he stopped staring at me and he went on his way.
Oh, right.
Weird,
Oh,
very weird.
blimey.
Anyway,
I was having band practice once, right? In a hall, me and the guys having a band practice, we're all playing away. And the guy who lived next door to the rehearsal hall he got in his car and he drove up his driveway, went round and then into the driveway of the hall. So literally he drove next door, and then he came
hmm.
into the rehearsal room and he was holding a big ass gun, and he said the rehearsal's over, and we went, okay then. We just packed up our stuff and left.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
we
Bloody
are
hell.
we are getting seriously off topic here. Okay, so
we
last
need
things.
GPS to get us back to the right.
Yeah, we do. Okay, last thoughts on phones. I mean, obviously, like they're good for if you have ADHD. Well, at least for me, they are a real lifesaver in that I can be out anywhere, and I can, if I have to make an appointment, or if I have to put something in the diary or the calendar or a reminder or
Yeah.
something like they're super
Oh no,
helpful
massively.
for
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
I
Yeah.
mean, like
I
if I have to,
often like pull over and write a note. I pull over in the car
yes,
and write a note in my phone because I think, oh God, I don't want to forget this. And yeah, I totally. But there's an element of phones that when I was doing the research for this episode, right,
mm,
I had a bit of an insight. I realized that me having a smartphone, coincides with when I started to stop overthinking so much generally, and like what's it called, catastrophizing, because the phone has been like really good in that way, in that I could just open up my phone and go down a rabbit hole of like documentaries or something on YouTube or whatever,
mm-hmm,
okay, and get out of my own thoughts, okay.
right,
And it's been it helps me massively in that way. It definitely coincides with that. I have been like working on myself because I was freaking exhausted with overthinking. I think though, as I say, it does coincide with me having a smartphone, and the smartphone giving me that possibility to get me out of my own head. Does that
all
make
right,
sense?
yeah. No, I mean, I think we also, I also use it to get out my own head, in as far as like I'm just going to disassociate on my phone and just and just
Yeah, exactly.
scroll and look at stuff and
Yeah,
not do what I'm supposed to be
yeah.
doing. Great.
Which reminds me, socially, it's really useful. If you've got a phone in your hand and
Oh yeah.
you don't want to talk to someone, you
Hmm.
pretend that you're using your phone, and
Oh, I do it
they're
all the
not going to
time.
come up to you and talk. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
which is
Especially
in ADHD community, that's a biggie.
especially if I'm out walking the dog, so I don't end up
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
people like, so I can just ignore people. Yeah, it's yes, I like that.
That's a
Very
massive
nice.
positive, isn't it? That
Yes.
can make a big difference.
Yeah.
People just like
All
leave
right.
you alone.
All right. Well, everyone can just jump in the comments and tell us what you love, stroke hate about phones, or oh, you know what?
Yeah,
One one story that I just remembered that I was supposed to say when we were talking about rotary phones was
yeah,
um and it hasn't ever happened on my cell phone, or anything, is that one day I decided, oh, I'm going to go and phone my mate Steve, and maybe, have a conversation like, I want to go to HMV and buy an album. Are you interested in coming? Kind of
yeah,
conversation. So I
yeah.
so I so I got up to the phone, and then I dial his number, and there's no ringtone. There's just silence, and then a voice goes, "Hello," and it's Steve, who I just called. And
Yeah,
what had happened was that he had phoned me at the exact time that I'd phoned him, and we both
yeah.
were talking to each other. It's like the
That's
weirdest moment.
amazing.
I know. Anyway,
But those were the times, Martin, when with your mates, you just intuitively knew where and when your mates were available. You know,
yes, yes.
you just knew it. That
Saturday.
was one of the benefits before smartphones. there was this intuitive like feeling like, okay, Martin's going to be on. It's what is it? It's Friday, so Martin's going to be probably free to chat. I'm going to give him a call. You just
Right.
knew,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I
Or
know.
if you wanted to play football or go and buy an album, you just like intuitively knew, you just somehow weirdly your ideas would coincide with your mates because everything was much more intuitive.
Yeah, I think we were. Yeah, we were. It's interesting because I feel like I also know what a lot of people are doing generally. Like because I'm on social media, I get a sense of people's lives as well.
Yeah.
So actually,
Yes.
I could argue that I've actually have a sense of what people are doing on a much broader global level than I ever
Yeah, that's
used to.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anyway, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay.
Phones, good or bad? Let's find out. Let's go
Oh,
and rate phones.
yeah.
Let's go and do that. Is it a dopamine hit or is it a burnout thing? Phones, is it a dopamine hit or is it a burnout thing? So, obviously, this one's going to be tight. I
It's
feel.
tight. For
Yeah.
me, dopamine. I'm going to be specifically for relating dopamine.
Yes.
Specifically talking about dopamine and my ADHD and phones. The
Yes.
first thing that comes to mind is for the phone for me definitely stimulates my endless infinite curiosity for information. It's like I've got this encyclopedia in my pocket, and I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that I can just like find out, like I did yesterday with one of my online students. We needed to look up, um, elephants and the louse population, their relationship
What?
with elephants. I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
And
All right.
were elephants indigenous to Laos or not? And it's like
Oh,
before, you'd have to go to the library, and you'd be lucky if someone hadn't taken that book out. So
oh
that
God, yeah.
it just totally endlessly feeds my
Yeah.
favorite dopamine hit, which is my curiosity, right? So in that sense, I'm going to give
Nice.
it an 8, a long way round
An
saying
8.
8.
All right. I'm also gonna give it. Seeing as it's such a dopamine machine, I'm gonna give it a high. So sometimes like 9.9. Right up there.
That's high.
That's very high.
That's high. You're bending the needle.
I am.
Bending the freaking needle on that one. Blimey.
All
That's the
right.
highest we've had so far. Okay.
Burn it.
Burnout. You go
The
first.
Yeah.
What are you on
Okay.
the burnout?
All right. So I think phones can generally much of your time and your energy than you really need it to. So I kind of feel like actually having to. I'm actually rethinking my score. So I'm going to say that it's about a 6 for me. So a bunch of burnout, but I mean, yeah, I'm probably being
Yeah.
too generous, to be honest. But what say you, Mister Tomp?
I'm going to give burnout a high. I'm going high. I'm going up to a 9
A
because it
9.
just causes me a lot of hassle. I probably what really tips it over is just the amount of people that can, because I'm really hyper vigilant and really protective about my private space and time,
Mm-hmm.
and these phones are just a constant, endless stream of people trying to getting their nose into my life.
Right.
Whether it's from publicity or pop up ads, and it just really drains me. Or
Right.
that just possibility that someone you don't want to talk to is just going to leave. They're going to try to phone you, then they'll send an SMS, then
Mm-hmm.
they'll send an email. Just
Right.
like invasion of private life, I suppose, is my
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
Is
I mean,
my my problem.
you get Taylor Swift. She's like phoning you up. You're like, oh God, it's bloody Taylor
Yes,
Swift again. You know,
it's
and
her
then she's
again.
like, right, and then she's texting you, and you're like, oh Jesus,
Yeah,
come on, Swifty,
blimey,
leave me alone,
Swifty.
woman.
I
I
did
know,
actually. It was someone once called
so
me, a
annoying.
lady from the States, called me by mistake. It was a wrong number. We
Hmm.
ended up chatting for 3 hours.
Oh,
It was a wrong
wow,
number. We never exchanged names, I don't think. We never called each other ever again. And we got on like a house on fire. It was completely just a wrong call. It was a wrong number. It
right.
was really nice.
That is
Anyway,
really nice. I've just
completely
remembered
quite unrelated.
a very similar phone call. Um, me and Stevie Whitmore, we were like, and the boys, and we were having a drink in the pub. This is kind of going back. This is like in the noughties, back at 20 years ago, and we were having a drink in the pub, and one of the guys comes out the toilets, and he says, "Oh man,
Right.
I've just seen a sticker for a really funny band," and it was called
Hmm.
the band's name was called Ken Dodd's Dad's Dead.
Right.
Right. So Ken Dodd is an old 70s UK comedy guy, and it was Ken Dodd's Dad's Dead, and we thought that was
Right.
hilarious. And then about a month after, I'm sitting there at the phone, and it's a wrong number, and this girl's chatting to me. Like you say, we're just like chatting
Hmm.
away, and then we get onto the subject of bands. And, oh yeah, I used to be in a band. Yeah, the band was called Ken Dodd's Dad's Dead. I was like,
No.
no, I saw your sticker in the boys' toilets about a month ago.
Yes. Amazing.
Crazy little
Amazing.
coincidences. Um, all right, so that's the scoring. So you've scored phones to be slightly worse, and I
Yes.
as a bad thing, and I've gone the other way,
Yeah.
and I've given them a sort of a positive. So there we go. What's your thoughts at home? Let us know. Right.
Yeah.
Well, time is a cracking on, so we should jump in the tractor and we should go over to Alexandra's haunted inn. So let's jump
Yeah.
out of the pub,
Let's go there.
or where we are, the park. We're in the park, aren't we? Ooh. I swear to God, that tractor's louder than it used to be.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, okay. So we're at Alexandra's haunted inn, and she's left a note for us. So this is about last week's episode, which was about hats, good old hats.
yeah.
That'll be episode 102, I guess. And she says
102. Yeah.
that Greek people don't wear hats much anymore. So a hat
Hmm.
feels like the opposite of masking. I feel stressed thinking the attention wearing a hat might bring.
Yeah. Which is a fair
You
point,
might
isn't it?
stand out. You might not want to stand out wearing a
Yeah.
fancy ass hat.
I guess there's a difference between men and women. Men are more wear hats, much more likely to wear hats for practical reasons. Where for a lady, it's more of a oh look at me kind of more of a look at me effect of objective.
For fashion.
Yeah,
Or I would say on the beach, I would say definitely a bit of both, and definitely like cuts down on that
totally.
sunlight and all that other
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sunlight is.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
So yeah, good point. Well put.
all right, and then a shout out. I'll go a shout out here to Carol, who's our minister of snacks, who did a lot of great hat related posts last
Okay, I'll have to check those out. I haven't seen those.
I tip my hat to you. Yeah.
Okay.
No, check them out. All right. Well, that's so. Don't forget. Send your. Go on.
Your feedback is vital to us, and so it's always great to get your comments. So write to us, and maybe we'll read your comments out on the next episode.
Perfect.
And next week, that leads me to
It's
say that
your
week,
term.
my turn to select the theme. Next, we're going to talk about ADHD books and bookshops therein.
Oh, books and bookshops. Oh,
the whole multi-sensory, I suppose, experience of what it means to have ADHD and relating, being with, passing time with books.
lovely. What a great subject. Right. Yeah. Well, that just leaves me to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most amazing. And feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, there's more. If you wish to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, then you can sally forth to the YouTubes and the TikTok. Email us at ADHDville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHDs, fare thee well with gladness of heart. Say goodbye, Rudy. You're a fucking star this week, as everyone.
There, says the mayor. That's that.
Special guest